All right, all right, all right, all right. So let's see here if everything works as I am hoping it's gonna work. If we even have people in there or in here this early. So if anyone is in here in this first live stream of mine, can you please type something? Let me see here, by the way. Yes, we should be live on both X and YouTube. I'm going to write in the chat here, see if it works. Hey, everyone. I'm going to wait a little bit for people to tune in. Okay, we have people tuning in already. 5 people on YouTube, it seems like. Hey, Dev Explained. Cool to see you here. Gonna wait a little bit to see if we can get some people in here before I start the whole stream. Hey, Dinesh. Nice to see you guys in here. Love from Nepal. Love from Houston. Right back at you. This is going to be very interesting, folks. I haven't ever done a live stream, so I'm anticipating that I will screw up a lot during this session here. It will be fun. Whoa, 14 people now. The pressure is increasing. Let's see. So it's 9:45. That's what I scheduled the stream for. I'm going to wait maybe 2-3 minutes until I actually get into it. How is everyone's day going, by the way? Because I am assuming I am in Central Time here in the US. I am assuming that a bunch of you guys are not in the same time zone. Hey, Arthur. Nice to see you, man. I mean, you can design to you, Dev explained here. Let's see if I can even put it on the screen. So are we designing or also developing it? So I'm going to do a redesign on this project. You can follow along if you want on the side. I haven't structured the stream in a way where it won't be a tutorial style. It will be more of me like redesigning and talking out loud as I'm doing stuff. And yeah, it's going to be the first time I do this. So obviously it's going to be, hey, Paras. It's going to be, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. What time do we have? Okay, 9:47. You know what? Let's get started, everyone. I'm gonna reduce the volume of the music a little bit, but still have it in the background like this. Maybe we even do some lo-fi for now. Like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch over to the presentation slide that I've actually made in Framer as well. So yeah, in this stream, we will redesign a Web3 project from scratch. And we're going to go from a concept, so basically a brief or an existing project, to a Framer website. This is going to include some quick research, some visual direction research as well. Then we're going to jump into the Framer site. So that will be like, so 1/3 of the stream will basically be research and visual direction. And then the 2/3 in the end is going to be about the Framer site. And also, if we have time, animations, which is usually the more exciting thing. But we need to nail the structure before we get to that. The project we're going to get into is the Network School. And the Network School is a project by Balaji that gives opportunities to the dark talent of the world. Now, let me explain what this means. But first, before I explain it, let's quickly jump into Balaji here, which is kind of an OG in the Web3 space. So he's a former CTO of Coinbase, so the huge exchange Coinbase. He was the CTO of that institution. He is a former general partner of A16Z, so like a huge crypto investment firm. And he's also a best-selling author, like super legit guy. So immediately when I saw his tweet about this project, let me zoom in here. Immediately when I saw his tweet, I got super excited. The thing he says in the beginning, and I think this is genius, is we got an island. So they literally, for this project, got an island. You see here, that's right. Through the power of Bitcoin, we now have a beautiful island near Singapore where we're setting up the network school, and we'd like you to apply. As context, the network school is a new academic community for people who want to start new communities. If accepted, you will level up in 3 concrete ways. And this is really cool. They have like all the aspects that you would want for like the new kind of institution of the world here. First of all, learn technology. So we have daily tutorials on technology and the humanities with a focus on the tools you need to start new communities. So you're going to learn a bunch about tech. Then we have burn calories, the other essential part. And for this one, they have Brian Johnson joining in. He's a friend of Balaji's, also a super cool guy. I don't know if you guys know him, if you've seen him on YouTube. He's the founder of Blueprint. He's the guy that wants to live until he's 130 or 120. I don't remember, maybe 140 even. And he makes a bunch of content on that on YouTube. Super interesting guy, super smart guy. So he's going to be the one to set up like a whole meal program and like a whole fitness program, basically, for this island, for this network school island, which is also just an insane thing. So you see here, all attendees get daily Blueprint meals. So that's his company's formula, basically, for how they set up the meals, and group workouts with semi-personal trainers. Then we're going to have earn currency. So people who are on this island. So like basically we're talking about like a Google campus on an island. Like it's a playground, but also a like an amazing learning opportunity and adventure for people, this island. And mostly for dark talent, like I said, and when he says dark talent, that's what he calls it. It's people that traditionally don't have the opportunity to go to a school like Stanford, for example. But yeah, so they're going to have, on top of these 2 things that I already said, technology, burn calories, earn currency. So they're going to have daily prizes. I think if you read the article, it's even $1,000 per day in like daily bounties that the people in this program can get. They will provide career counseling, and you have true freaking gangsters at this place. Like not gangsters in the literal sense, but like heavy hitters in terms of technology and just knowledge in general that are going to be here to counsel people. That in itself is worth so much. They're going to have visa assistance. They're going to have fundraising advice during office hours. And they're going to have guest lecturers from famous investors around the world. So again, this is just an insane project. I know that Balaji has been talking about, like he talks about his book here, The Network State. He's been talking about this concept for a long time. So when I saw that he actually now executes on this idea of like the new world's, what would you call it? New world's education. Super interesting. So that's the project in itself that we're going to jump into. We have 2 hours to do this. So I'm going to do 15 minutes of basically research and problem and audience, 15 minutes on visual direction, and then we're going to spend 90 minutes in Framer to just dish it all out. It's going to be a 2-hour stream. And yeah, we'll see how far we get. I think I'm mainly going to focus on like a hero section and the section below. And again, we'll see how far we get. I want to get to animations as well, so you guys can see some of that, how animations work in Framer. We can probably do some cool stuff there. But before I jump into it, I just need to remind myself here about the chat. So let's see, do we have anything else? Killer76, Hello Framer, Tanya, Riley, thank you. Thank you guys for joining. Design and no code with Framer, I think. Yes, that's what we're going to do. And hey, everyone from Thinking Tamisha. Yeah, cool. So we have some stuff happening in the chat. I'm going to try to remember to look into the chat every now and then. But this is my first time streaming. So we'll see how it gets, or how it goes, rather. Now, without further ado, let's jump first into this little thing here. Actually, let's scroll down here first, because I use this cool visual from Framer Shaders.xyz. Shout out to him there. To say that it's time to initiate the timer. I wanted to show that graphic first. Now, I'm gonna jump into this timer here in Google. We're gonna set this to, let's see, 15 minutes, and let's go. I'm gonna jump first to, let's see here. So we have the project description here by Balaji. Like I said, this is the new form of education, right? He has a longer piece here, or not here actually. I think the tweet is this longer piece. He also has a Medium article. We're not going to jump into that. I don't want to get you guys. I guess a lot of people will be bored if we jump into that stuff. You want to see the visual stuff first. But before we can do the visual stuff, we have to kind of get at what problem we're solving here with this design and who we are solving the problem for. So what I did is I used ChatGPT to do this. I took basically Balaji's tweet, I put it into ChatGPT, and I added some context to that tweet. I said, below I'll add a text from Balaji regarding his newest project called the Network School. I want your help to give me the key value propositions. So what are the key values for the users of this island, this service, this project? I want them ranked along with different personas. So who are the people we're trying to speak to here? Because these things are super essential for when we want to design, right? If we build a website, it can look amazing. Like it can be the most beautiful website you've ever seen. But if we don't speak to the right people, and if we don't target the right pain points or the right values for those people, then it's not going to be a website that converts in a nice way. So that's why I did this in ChatGPT. So I added that in here, a long text. And out from ChatGPT, we get this. Key value propositions ranked. So the first one is continuous lifelong education, right? And I think that makes sense. Like this whole thing, again, it is a lot about lifelong education. It's a lot about like helping the people who don't have access to traditional institutions to get access to a super cool learning experience. So I think that is probably the main thing we want to focus on. Now, apart from just continuous lifelong education, I think it's like if this was the hero text, the heading, I would want to somehow, I think, also get in there something saying that we're giving opportunities to people who don't usually have those opportunities. I think that's equally as important as the continuous lifelong education. So we have to think like when someone comes in here, so our target audience, which is the people who don't have these opportunities in general, we want to speak to their heart immediately, right? So I think we need to get that nuance in here. Then we have the physical and mental well-being. Makes sense. That's the second thing he mentions in his in the picture I showed. So that makes sense as the second thing. Career development and earning opportunities. That was the third thing he had too. So I think this overall, like 1, 2, 3 here makes sense. So that's something we're probably going to use when we, or have as a reference when we create the website. Then we have community and networking. That's, I would say, like also an amazing part of it, but probably more of a nice to have than a must have. Based, like these three in the top are probably more of the must haves. Affordability and accessibility kind of goes into the first value proposition, I would say. And cutting edge curriculum and networking with industry leaders. This one kind of goes into number 4 here too. But this is good. Like, it summarizes it well, I think. Then we have the target personas. Who are the people we're actually designing for here? So we have in the top founders, engineers, designers, and investors. So with this website, I think we are going to target mostly the people applying to this program. So I don't think we're going to specifically speak to investors in this case for this landing page. You could have a separate page on the website, of course, that is more targeted towards the investor side of it, the people who might want to come and, you know, get talent from this island, for example. So, but that for this stream, I probably won't be speaking to the investors with a copy and the visuals or anything. Remote workers and digital nomads, for sure. Writers, artists, influencers, and filmmakers. I think this was his first one. His first, like he had a list of 3 of them. I think this was the first one. I don't know if that is because hierarchically this is going to be like our top priority, or if it was just a random list. But yeah, we're going to speak. The sum of it here is we're going to speak to a lot of different users, it seems like, or a lot of different people, I should say. These are a lot of different people with probably a lot of differences in how we could communicate that to them in the most efficient way, which makes it kind of hard. Because if you're building a website, you don't want to speak to everyone. It's like I said before, you want to have your message very clearly specified towards like the what would you call it? The main person, the main user, the most important customer of whatever you're building. So who is the most important customer for us here? These are different kind of categories. Like, these are more, I would say, backgrounds, like designer or like job titles: founders, engineers, designers, remote workers, digital nomads, writers, artists, influencers. Maybe we should focus much more just on the general pain points that we want to solve for here. So we don't necessarily need to say, you know, a remote like an education island for engineers. We don't have to go that specific. Instead, we should probably just talk about things that engineers care about, or that designers care about, that this demographic in total care about. But I think that's pretty important to keep in mind. We also got from ChatGPT some hero section copy ideas here. So this would be the hero then. Unlock your potential at the network school. I think that sounds cool, but it is very generic. It is very like, it could speak to anyone, really. It could speak to a Stanford kind of student. It could speak to anyone who wants to unlock their potential. It could speak to. I don't think it's super clear. If I come in here, I am from a background where I don't have this access to traditional education per se. I am this dark talent. This wouldn't really speak to me. Super hard, I think. So we're gonna have to to switch that up a little bit. Join a global community of creators, technologists, and innovators on a beautiful island near Singapore. I think that's pretty good. With continuous education, cutting edge fitness programs, and unparalleled networking opportunities, the Network School is where you'll learn, burn, and earn your way to the future. Apply now to be part of the next generation of leaders. Interesting. I don't know if we want to go like and say the next generation of leaders, because I don't know if everyone who goes here wants to become a leader. Because I think you could have a great talent that isn't necessarily looking to become a leader. I don't know if that is the underlying idea with the Network School, that they want to create people who, I guess they want to create people who build ventures or who are part of building ventures, but the people who are part of building ventures. So if you're building talent, maybe not everyone wants to become a leader in the end. So I think that's something we have to maybe keep in mind too. We're going to have to change this a bit. Pain points section copy. Tired of traditional education. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Chat. Let me see. Love from India. Can you give me a shout out? Of course. Let's see here. I can put you up on the screen. Kushal, there you go. Love right back at you. Super cool to see everyone in here. This is really, again, this is a new thing for me. So really cool to be doing this. Yeah, again, shout out to you, Kushal. Thank you for joining here. I'm going to continue with this now. Tired of traditional education? Why spend 100K plus on a degree that quickly becomes outdated? At the Network School, you'll continuously upgrade your skills with daily problem solving and crypto credentialing, ensuring you're always ahead of the curve. I think that's pretty good. I think this is definitely like tired of traditional education. That feeling or that underlying message is something we want to highlight. Struggling with fitness and well-being. I mean, that is like part of it, right? I don't know if that's how we want to put it. Maybe it's more of the, like, instead of talking about the pain point like that, maybe we talk about it like, let's say, become the best physical version of yourself, or become the, like, reach your fitness, I don't know, but something that is more about like the outcome they can reach, instead of talking about like struggling with fitness and well-being. Maybe they don't really, maybe that's not exactly how they think about this problem, is what I'm thinking. I think we could do like the opposite here. We just go straight to what could the outcome become. Feeling stuck in your career, also something, like we can, I think all of these points are good. Education, the fitness, the career advancement, and like the community part makes sense. But yeah, this is good. I think we could use, like, if you do this with ChatGPT, you could sit and talk to ChatGPT, give it instructions to like make this a bit better. Maybe we can try like, thank you. Now, can you give me these pain points? But let's see. But with a focus on instead, or with a focus on the outcome instead, what this would mean for the people who go to the island. Let's see what we get here. All right. Stay ahead with continuous learning. That I like. Transform your health and well-being. That is pretty good. A bit generic, but I think it's better. Accelerate your career growth. It's good too. I think we could, like, all these sound much like something I've heard or seen before. So maybe we want to like be even more specific with these things and try to use language that isn't as common, I guess, or as generic. But I think this hits better. Connect with visionaries and build lifelong friendships. That's interesting, I think. Leave the island with a powerful network of like-minded innovators who share your values and ambitions. Yeah, I think this is better. This is something we could use. Thank you. Thank you. For the hero section, could you be a bit less generic and try to focus the copy on the fact that this enables the dark talent who previously couldn't access this kind of opportunity. Let's see. Unlock the future you deserve at the network school. I don't know. Still a bit too generic. Try again, please. Be less generic and talk to the dark talent. Okay, we have 12 seconds left. To the overlooked innovators, your time is now. Yeah, we don't have more time for this. We're gonna jump into the visuals. Whoa, that was loud. Okay, 15 minutes, restarting the timer. Okay, so for the visual inspiration, I'm gonna start with Pinterest. This is usually the place where I do this kind of work when I try to find inspiration. It depends, of course. If I'm looking for inspiration for like website sections per se, or something specific, if it's a mobile app, for example, I will go to Mobbin. If it's more for branding and general visuals, I will use Pinterest. So let's see here. I think that if we go to this page, this is the current page for the network school, right? It's a very basic, like this light theme. I think the whole branding that Balaji has on both his personal website, but also for like the network state itself, is very like minimal, clean like this. He's using this serif font. And yeah, overall, very, very clean. Nothing like, not going with super fancy styling. So I think we want to keep this. We don't want to go overboard and go crazy with the visuals here. We definitely don't want to go to the if you look at the current state of crypto, you have a very common theme where it's like usually dark theme, super flashy, everything, bunch of stuff happening, 3D everywhere, and usually abstract 3D. I think 3D is amazing to use for projects, but when it comes to using 3D, I think you have to be very careful about how you use it. You should use it for a reason. Try to not be too abstract. You should tell stories with a 3D. With that said, though, I don't think this project has that vibe. I don't think this is the 3D kind of project. I think this is more about showing like real pictures like this, showing this potential future, which is very real, very non-abstract. I think we should show that with pictures and maybe even videos, to give the person who comes into this website, give them an idea of what this could be. Like, what could this feel like? How would I feel going to this island? Because just reading this, I get excited about the opportunity, but we could definitely amplify that feeling by having like very nice visuals of what the hotel or the institution, I should say, or the learning place looks like. Maybe, having pictures of the beach, maybe having pictures of the workouts, maybe having, pictures of the rooms, etc., to give them a clear idea of what this is. So I want to go with something like this, something very, very clean, light themed, We're going to use a serif font probably. So take what we have here, but make it tighter, make it better. All right. So with that rambling, I'm going to see here, clean, let's see, clean serif branding. Let's say nature, just to see what we can get. Let's say lifestyle instead. Clean lifestyle branding. This becomes a bit too fashionista, I think. Let me see. This maybe could be something. Click that up in a new tab. Clean. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna bring you up again, Kushal. Just seen your course. It was awesome, dude. Is documenting colors, typography, layout necessary for developing in Framer? No, I wouldn't say that it's necessary. I don't think anything is really necessary in your design process. You can do things however you want to. Some people are very structured, where they like having like, okay, I start with A, then B, then C, and in the end, you come to the final product. While some people will be very random in how they do things. So some people will just not want to create a design system. They just want to go with a flow, basically, in their process when they create designs. So I think it's totally up to you. I usually try to, like, as I create the project, I will usually create like my text styles. I will create my colors. And I'm not sure what you mean with documenting layout, if you mean components, but I will do that too. So like whenever I have something that I'm going to reuse throughout the project, then I will do that too. I will add that as a component because it just saves time. So whatever saves you time and like keeps you creative and keep you flowing in your workflow, I think that's the way to go. But like everyone can have their own way of doing stuff. It doesn't have to necessarily be like a very, specific way. It is really up to everyone's own taste, everyone's own workflow, and how they work as a person, etc. Let's see. This is not what I'm looking for here. Let's say clean serif minimal tech. Let's see. With images. Colorful images. And now, like, the way I'm adding this is like I'm talking to ChatGPT or Midjourney, which might not be the best way to do it on Pinterest. But I want to add those keywords so that we can see if we find something that makes more sense for us. Let's see. I'm looking for something where like they have a very clean general style, and then they add like highly saturated, nice images like this, basically. That one, but here they're using not a serif font, and it's a gradient on the text. I don't want anything fancy like that. This too, a bit too clean. I don't think we're gonna use this kind of stuff, but I think by adding this tab, we can we'll get more results that might look more similar to what we're looking for. Here we go. This is more in line with what I'm thinking. That one is interesting. Let's see. I think actually I'm going to go down the route of this one because I think this was pretty similar to what I was thinking. There we go. Like showing, this is kind of what I'm envisioning, showing the island. Like imagine having the island here as a video, like a drone shot of the island. That I think will be really powerful because the island is such a big parts of this. Like they literally got an island, which is insane. So I think that is something we should push on. This too is pretty good. Let's see. This is pretty good too. Like, so using imagery, you can see here that I'm collecting inspiration that is using like very clean, saturated, nice imagery, and everything else is very minimal. I think that is the way I want to go with this. This is interesting too. I don't want to use these crazy, like this looks good, this layout. Let's take this as an example here. This looks this looks like a graphic design poster. Now, this kind of layout is gonna convert less for you. That's just how it is. It looks beautiful, but it is definitely not as effective when it comes to conversions. So I don't want to do things like this with the typography. We're going to keep it pretty standard, I think. But I liked this image here and this here. I think this is the kind of stuff I want to see. I want to see this cool island in the imagery. Let's see. Oh, this is pretty cool. But again, using very unique layouts, which is not something we're going to do. But I think from a visual perspective, just what it looks like to the eye with the contrast of the text to the images is more similar to what we're going for. Let's see, we have 5 minutes left of this. Then we're going to get into assets. Or let me just recheck what we have. No, so we're going to get into actually designing after that. And just because you mentioned this, Kushal, like when I do projects, usually, I will jump between designing and going into assets and designing and into assets. Like I will jump between things in some cases. That is not to say that that's the most optimal way to work. It's just how my creative mind works. And it makes sense to me to work like that. So when I'm doing this in the workflow, doesn't mean you have to do it. It's totally up to you and what feels right for you. It really is no right or wrong here. Let's see, what else do we have? This, again, like this, I think looks really like the contrast of this image I really like, and maybe overlaying white text, or if we have some kind of fading white background mask and you have black text here, but a very contrasting, saturated image like this, I think can be really, really cool. This as well is right in line with what I'm thinking. This too. Yeah, I think we like, and here I just have to add a comment too. Like we have this. So right now I have two things in mind, or two potential layouts. One layout could be that we create, that we go basically. So I guess three. This could be one layout. We have the image as a separate kind of block on the page, and on the left side or something like that, you have the hero copy, the heading, the call to actions, etc. Now this is a login page, so it wouldn't be exactly like this. So that would be one. The other one could be more of this kind of style, where we have a big hero image like this, and we kind of overlay the text, or like I said, we fade out parts of the image and we have black text instead. But one image is the primary thing. So like imagine the drone shot of the island, for example. And then we have the third option in my mind, where we have a couple of images to reflect different things. So one image could be the drone shot or something similar showing the island. One image could be, for example, an image of, I don't know, the room. Maybe we want to wait with that for further down the page. But yeah, one image could be something else, maybe from the island, a different kind of shot that shows maybe a community shot, like showing people being together, laughing, something like that. Um, and basically, the overall concept here would be that we mix in different images to capture the whole feeling of the island. If we just have the drone shot with the island, that is all we have, right? We're showing that this is an island. This is really cool. It's like the heaviest hitter of all our value propositions, but we might miss out on some of the other things. That is not to say that by adding these additional images, we're going to add or increase the conversions or anything, because maybe that drone shot itself is going to be so effective, because it's just insane, again, having an island like that. But I think those three concepts is what I want to play around with. Let's see if we can find anything else. I don't think we necessarily need to right now. And this is also something I want to raise. I might, while designing, just jump back into this stage, because I might find that, okay, I'm not really hitting the visual aesthetics that I'm looking for. So I need to go back and try to find a better reference for, or better inspiration for what we're trying to build. But yeah, no, you know what? I think this is good for now. If we need to, we're going to jump back. Now I am going to, let's see here. Let's do 30 minutes. Whoops. There we go. Let's do 30 minutes. I'm going to do 3 of those 30 minutes. So we have the total 90 minutes. But now let's jump into Framer. I'm going to drag in, let's see, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take a print screen. And I'm going to take, let's actually do, see which ones are our best ones. This one we liked as well. That one. So we have those two. This one was pretty cool, but it's the same concept. Or no, I guess it's not the same concept, but I will want to have this one. I actually like the overall aesthetic too. So I'm going to add that one. And then I'm just going to take this one like that. And now I'm going to jump into Framer. I'm going to drag those things in here so that we have the images. Now, before I jump into this, actually, does anyone have a question around anything here? If you have, feel free to shoot your questions and I will try to answer as quick as I can. But for now, there we have basically some inspo. Okay, so first of all, let's start with creating a frame. I'm going to create a frame here in the top. So our outer container, basically. Inside of this frame, I want to have text, right? What I'm thinking, let's start with this kind of structure, this kind of feel. So I'm going to have some heading text here. Heading text goes here. I'm going to increase the size a little bit like that. Now, this is going to be a serif font. Let's see if we do instrument serif. It's a pretty common one nowadays. A lot of people use it. It's not really, it's definitely not the one that Balaji is using on his website. I think we could try to find something that is more close, but I think for now, just for the sake of time, let's stick with this one. Oh, it only has one font weight. That makes me rethink my decision. Like, it's a really nice font. I know it would work for us in general, but just having a regular font weight might make it not as nice. Let's see if we go to Fontshare.co. I think. Nope, that was not it. Let's see. Fontshare. Google. Okay. This is a really cool website to find fonts. Now I'm gonna go to, let's see, where do we have? Oh, there we go. So serif, sentient, maybe that one could be interesting. And by the way, Framer has these fonts from Fontshare natively, I think. So we will be able to find this straight inside of Framer. Sentient could be one. Gambetta, maybe a bit too. What if we change the weight? Gambetta is pretty nice too. And what if we increase the weight of sentient? Yeah, that could work too. Gambetta, sentient, Neko. Oops. I think Gambetta, sentient. Those are my favorites so far of this. Crimson is pretty cool. Crimson Pro. Laura is a classic. Sentient. What do you guys think? Sentient, Gambetta. Sentient, Gambetta. Can we actually add like our text? Let's say the network school. Sentient looks cool. Gambetta is really like, it's not as classy, I would say. It is not as classy, I think. Laura is this is a tough one. Like right now, I think Erode looks a bit cleaner to me. Sentient or Erode? Let's go with sentient. I think it feels a bit not as sharp. I want it to be a bit nicer in its feel. So let's go with sentient. Go back here, and we're gonna search sentient. Boom. So we go for that here. Let's do 56. I'm gonna decrease the letter spacing a little bit so it becomes a little tighter. And we have the heading. Okay, so that is good. I'm gonna copy and paste it. I'm gonna go down to like, let's say 20. And we need to increase the letter spacing because it's smaller text so that it's more legible. Now, the question here is, usually you will combine maybe. So you have a serif like this for the headings, and then you have a sans serif, like something that is easier to read for the body text. That is something we can change later. For now, let's maybe keep it like this. I will jump into our, where do we have our copy? I'm going to take this just as a placeholder. Definitely going to switch this to something else. I'm going to go into the text. Let's actually make this now into a heading 1 style, like that. And for heading 1 styles, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change balance to yes. So now it's balanced like that. We can give it a width that is fixed. So this is the fixed width. Now, this breaks up the text a little bit weirdly, but again, it's just placeholder, so I think it's fine for now. Heading text goes here. I'm going to bring this tab up here so that we can see it. This is a really long body text. I would want to shorten this. Can you shorten the body text to half, please? Okay, this will be good as placeholder for now. And we're gonna, whoops, that became really long. Let's say that is gonna be 400. Yeah, so it's still really long with this. Like we don't have their attention for that long, I think, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to maybe even shorten it down even further. Let's see. Thank you. Please make it half this, half the length. Again, we are going to definitely have to rethink this copy, but let's use it like this. Okay, there we have the basic copy. Now we're gonna have some kind of button, some kind of call to action button here. I am gonna create a button that looks pretty classy, like black. We can do the same rounded kind of style that Balaji had on their website. I'm gonna take this text here, copy it, and let's say apply now. Gonna let's see, gonna make this be fit content. Gonna paste it in here, center it, make it white. And that is pretty cool. Increase the thickness a little bit like that. And make this into a stack. Maybe increase the height to a 6-point grid kind of height. Now with this text, or sorry, with this button, actually I'm gonna make it into a button MD component, create a component like that. We can add a hover state just for now, right? Decrease the opacity a little bit. So now if we play this, I have a hover state on this. Now, whenever I want to go in and change how the button looks, I go in here and change it in one place. So if we're going to reuse this button all across the website, I can just change it in one place and it's going to look cool. Or it's going to look the same, rather, in all the places. We don't need apply now in there. But this kind of length and everything, I think would be pretty awesome. Now for the image, let's call this the hero section. For the image, let's say that we create another image, or sorry, another frame in here that covers the whole thing that is moved to the back. And let's say that this image is, I did use Midjourney quickly here. I took the image they have on the website and I put it into Midjourney and I said this, but more saturated and crisp. And I think it didn't really work out as well. Mimic this exactly. Again, I don't know if that's how you prompt Midjourney the right way. Usually I don't prompt Midjourney based on images. So I don't know what the best tactic is there. You can see that I here tried to just generate from nothing awesome looking images. Now these are very, like, you can see that this is Midjourney from miles away. So for that reason, I don't really like these. I mean, you can even see it here. So either we do this or we find some video on pexels.com. Let's say drone footage. Again, this is conceptual. Like we would need, of course, real photos, real videos from the actual location for this to be, for us to do this. But for now, maybe we could use like drone footage of Hotel Tropical. Let's see. And it shouldn't be photos. It should be videos. This might be pretty cool. Ooh, this looks cool as well. Let's bring this up. I'm going to take this one too. See, how are we looking with the timer? 18 minutes. Is that correct? Okay, 16 minutes. Do we have anything else? This looks too much like a big city. Again, this is conceptual. It's not going to be correct. I just want to give a feel, give a more of an art direction in this case of what it will look like. Let's go to one of the ones. This one, and we have this one. Now, the best thing would be if these videos looped in a nice way, because now it's going to cut and then it's going to play over again. I like the aesthetic of this one more, like the color grading, I should say. This one is a bit too not color graded for my taste. But let's do this one. Let's do full HD download. And thank you, James Cheney. Cheney. Sorry, man. I'm butchering your name, but thank you for that amazing shot. Now I'm going to go back into Framer. I'm going to drag that into our file. Oh, no. Wait. File upload. Wait a second. How much is this? 14? Wait, we'll compress it, and I hope that it's going to be possible to use it. This was my fear, that since this is a video and Framer doesn't allow you to Framer doesn't allow you to upload videos that are too big, understandably, because that costs them a lot of money if everyone would be uploading a bunch of heavy videos onto the servers. So it makes sense, but we want to use videos here. So hopefully we can compress this one down to a size that is going to work. While that's happening in the background, let's see what else we can do. I think here for this frame, this is going to be the image. This image is going to have a mask. And the mask will be, let's see, can I get the rotation tool, por favor? There we go. Boom, something like that. Maybe, let's see. Okay, now I have the compressed video. Let's try again. I think it's still, wait, let's see. What does it say? 20 megabyte file size limit. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Raksha, nice to see you here, man. Yes, we are live here. We're trying something new, and I'm excited to do a live thing for once to see how it works. Right now I'm battling with the Framer upload limit. I don't know if I can actually get this to work. Let's see if I compress it even more. If it's even less than 5 megabytes, I think that might, like this one was 5.3. That might be the threshold. But okay, we don't have all the time in the world, so I can't be lingering on that too much. I'm going to bring in the logo type for the network school. So let's see. I do remember us having the network school logo. Maybe I'll have to take one that I kind of made myself. If we do ns.com/school, I think we should come here. Okay, network school. Inspect. This is an SVG, so I should be able to copy that and paste it in here. There we go. Okay, cool. Network school into the hero. There for now, that is good. Maybe we do some kind of slick layout with this. First of all, though, I need that compressed video. What is happening though? How did that become 8.5? This is too bad. I really want this file to work, or this video to work. So let's trim that and save it as new. And you're not seeing what I'm doing right now, but I'm trying to get the video to be in the correct size, or in the size that works. Yes, there we go. Amazing. Okay, so we have the video in here. Now, instead of this image, we should be able to here, or actually, let's redo this. Let's see if it works if I put them. Yes. Okay, there we go. The image is like here, or the video, I should say, inside of there. This is the image container. Boom. This color. Whoops. This color, the mask. Yeah, this one should be white, I guess. Why is the mask? Sorry. This one has the blue, of course. There we go. Now we need to adjust the mask a little bit. Maybe, I mean, this kind of works, that it goes out into the, since this is in the water, I think that's fine. Let's just play it for now. Okay, looks pretty cool. Let's do something here. Let's do a radius of 56 here. Let's reduce the size a little bit. Let's bring this out of this frame. Let's have this be like this. Now I'm actually going to make this whole desktop layout to a stack, and I'm going to give it 24 in padding, or even like less, like 12 in padding, like that. And this one, whoops, let's lock this one. Oop, what is happening? Lock this one. And so now I can move things freely here without being scared that they're going to end up inside of there. Boom. One other thing I was thinking that could be cool here, not that you really need, I mean, you always need social proof. So I shouldn't say that you don't really need that in this case, but this island is so freaking cool that I could even accept it without social proof. But I was thinking that we could have in the bottom here something like, let's say 6 other people registered today, applied today, to have people take action, basically, because you want to collect all the best talent, and some of the best talent might not always be best at taking action. So we need to incentivize them even further, or to stress them to do it. Sorry, that's how it works nowadays in the world. You stress people into doing things. This one, let's see. I want an image here. Let's go to Unsplash and let's say avatar. Like these, when you use these, you just immediately know that it's Unsplash because everyone uses the same avatars. But let's try to find some that aren't maybe as generic and that look a bit more natural. Do something like this. Now, of course, the problem with this, and I'm gonna put a border on this one. Let's say 1 pixel like that. And or we can do this so that it's outside. We do 0, we do 1 in spread, 0 in blur, and we set this to be white and 100%, and there you have it. We add a little frame around these, and we call that avatar container. And this can go a little bit here. We are not going to clip this content, so overflow will be visible. And this one will be here. And we are going to change this image to another avatar image. Doesn't work better next to the button. Definitely something we can play around with. I'm just going to add another picture here. Let's see here. Boom. Oops, not choose image. We're gonna do an avatar again. Sai, hey man, nice to see you. And let's see here. Oh, I got some. You can copy the link to the video and paste it as an URL in the Framers video component. That way you don't have to upload it. Okay, that's very good actually. That might be a better way to do it in this case, because then we have the whole video. So we can do that in the end. Let's see if we can just find like one last shot. Then of course, some people won't have even avatars, so we have to take that into account. This is 14 right now. Let's see, something like this. I'm gonna increase the size a little bit. And we're gonna take this avatar container and this we're gonna turn into a stack. We will change the width to be not fixed, but fit. And we're gonna change the position. You said, Burlon, that doesn't it work better if we put it on the side? And I think in this case it actually does. I think that could be a good way to do it. Now one problem here is that these white borders make them overlay not as nicely on the water here. It would be nicer if it was transparent borders, basically. But let's wait with fixing that for now. Let's see, 6 other people applied today. Boom. Let's see, drag this down a little bit. Something else I want to do, like right now you can see here, this, like there is no contrast here. Like it just fades into nothing, which could be a visual aesthetic you could go for. But I think in our case, we don't want to do that. So either we could change the background color here of the whole thing. No, we couldn't, because I first need to add a fill color here. Can take white. So we could change the background color here so that the blocks on top are going to be white. So something like this. So we're using a bit of a gray instead. We can also change the gap between things. So let's say 20. This network school graphic, I'm going to add into like a logo container like that. I'm going to add another frame that is going to be a layout, and that is going to have a width of fill and the gap of 0 for now. Let's see, padding from the top, let's set that to 20 so that we have like the same distance from the top to the logo to the, from the top to the logo, from the logo to this block here. Gonna reduce the radius to like 24. Something like that looks pretty cool. I'm gonna even put these into a stack like this. We call that CTA. And gap can be 16. And the width is not going to be fixed. It's going to be fit. And whoops, now I'm doing crazy stuff. gonna put it in here, and there we go. Okay, we're almost 30 minutes into this, and I have yet to jump onto the next section. Now let's see how this looks. Okay, looks pretty cool. Now, what would make a big difference? Obviously, there are other things here too, like something like making this color a bit more faded, so that we, or like maybe even this. What did we do? 60%. Let's do for these 60%. I think this is too much text. I would want like six people applied today. What was I gonna say? Now, right now, this looks a bit empty. Berlin design. This hero section looks very clean and modern to me. That's nice to hear, man. And I think it's like it's a good start. What I would want to do here is, I think, like maybe we could even reduce the heading size to 48, like this. Something I was thinking, just to make this a bit more fun, even when like at this stage. Usually you don't want to jump into animations at this point yet, but since it's so freaking easy with Framer, we can add just like a text animation like this. That is, I'm gonna have a minimal one. I don't want it to be too crazy. Maybe a bit quicker even than this. Let's see, so like 25, something like that. I'm gonna do the same for this text, paste effects. To the overlooked innovators, your time is now. That looks pretty crisp, right? We can even have these have like an appear animation. Let's say slide in bottom, and let's say actually the distance to be like 12. We can give it, we need to give it a little bit of a delay. Let's say 0.5, like that. That looks pretty like cool as a start. Boom. We could also make the entire thing, this entire block here, have an appear effect. And let's say that it kind of also maybe slides in from the bottom. And I don't want to slide too far, like a pretty slight little slide. I think that's pretty good as a start. I want it to be snappy. I don't want it to be like super slow. Animations in general, we don't want them to like, they can't be there to, as designers, we like animations that look amazing and that are very fancy and flashy. As a user, you usually don't. So the animations shouldn't be there to be in the way of the user. So that's why I like snappy animations like this. So I think that's pretty cool. This one, we can tweak them later. I'm going to copy that same one. I'm going to paste, hey, copy, effect, paste. Yes, we need to. That's because I tried to paste onto the graphic. It has to be on an element like this. And for this one, I'm going to add a slight delay. Maybe we add even bigger delay. Let's say, what happens if it's 1 second? It becomes a bit disconnected. But again, we shouldn't jump into this right now. Oh, wow, this timer went off. So I need to create another one. I didn't even see it. Let's jump in here again. I don't love this right now. It looks a bit generic, but it's fine, I think, as a first stage. The space above the heading. Yeah, I mean, either we could, like, you want something here because it's a very empty space. Time limit on the school, create a sense of urgency. It looks clean to me too. Yeah, I think they have an application time, so that could actually be an interesting way to proceed here. And since we just talked about the space above the heading as well, maybe we can implement the timer thing in the top left here. The white background behind the text, it looks too solid. Maybe with less opacity could work. But as I told you before, I'm really enjoying your design. Yeah, let's see. I'm actually going to start with the timer. I like that idea. Now, I still want to keep the cleanliness of this, though. So let's see. Actually, let's do this. Let's say countdown. I'm going to use the countdown object we have here, and we're going to change the font to sentient. And we are going to reduce like the letter spacing a little bit. We are going to, let's see, medium is probably good. I am trying to find a way to make the, oops. I want to reduce the space between the things in here. And I think I would, usually you can do that. Now, before we like get too deep into that, let's see here. I'm going to change the font style to be regular. I think for now, at least. Is this 14 too? And this one, we want to have better contrast. So I'm going to set that to fully dark. Time until app. That is a bit too long. Application closes. Could have something like this. I'm going to take both of these. Whoops, they are not even in the same here. Take them and add a stack. And we'll call this, just call it stack for now so that we don't have to think about that. And boom, like that. Now, what happens here is that this becomes a bit disconnected from the bottom, right? But I still think it works. I still think it works. We just need to make sure that this text here, I think, shouldn't take too much attention. So we still keep it really clean. And again, I'm not using a lot of elements on this page. I want to keep it super, super clean. Time until application closes. And we are also going to take this text effect and we're going to paste it onto these. This one, I don't think we can do. Can we? Nope. So we're going to have just an appear effect here. It's a slide in. What happens if we have? Let's take a sliding bottom. Let's reduce this, like the distance, and let's give it like a little bit of a delay. So now everything is not properly, or nothing is properly timed here right now. You can see everything kind of randomly appears. Usually I want to go in a pattern, like either from top to bottom or bottom to top. So it kind of flows. Now it's a bit random, like I said. So that we will have to change as well. Other than that, I think we have a pretty decent start. Of course, like we don't have a nav right now. Maybe we would want to create a nav So I'm going to do something like this. Paste this in here. And I am going to right click and detach this one. I'm going to call it body SM. And for body SM, let's see if we do 14 in size on that. And let's say 40 in height. And for the width, let's say fit content. And let's do the padding right to be 16. Padding left to be 16. And there we have our body SM. And I'm going to have a hover state, 50%. There we have that. I'm going to throw it into the stack. This stack is going to be fit content in the height, and it's going to overflow visible for now. And so yeah, let's see here. Now we can play around with the layout here too. I'm going to do space between for now to see what it looks like if we do this. And let's say a padding of, whoops, not 24 like that. Let's do, what does it look like if we align everything here to the left? Does that become crazy? We will see in this episode of Tim redesigning stuff. Whoops, 60. Not in love with it. Could work if we keep this kind of grid throughout the whole website. It could work well, I think. For now, I'm gonna keep it. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But something else we're gonna do right now actually is I'm gonna click into my component here. I am going to go to the apply now, and I am going to create a variable for the text so that we can change it dynamically. I am also going to change the width here to fit content again. I can remove the gap for now. Let's say right and left will be 16 or maybe 20 in this case because the button is bigger. We're going to do the same for this smaller button. We are going to have a variable for the text like that. So now I can change this this copy here from outside of the component. I'm going to say apply today. And this is something also like, do we want to talk about them applying now or applying today? Let's say apply today for now. Okay, let's see here. Should a time limit on it? Yeah, I think nothing new in the chat there. But this is looking pretty good so far. I think it's okay. Let's see if we can do, let's see, I want these things here to be a stack that is left aligned like that. And I'm going to have a gap of 16, 24 maybe. And we are going to set the width to be fit content like that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to set, this is already absolute. So now we can make this hero section, this whole hero section into, I thought we could. What happened here? Let's go back. This is position absolute, so that shouldn't be an issue. So what is the issue? Let's do it again and let's problem solve in real time. This image, wow, it changed. So let's change it back to absolute and 0, 0, 0 like that. And for the hero itself here, we're going to set this to start, and we're going to set it to direction vertical. We are going to put it there, and we are going to set a padding of like, say, 48. And we're going to set distribute to actually space between. So now everything is stacked up nicely. I'm only gonna have time to design like the first, like, so the hero and probably like a next section. The primary goal here is to just find an aesthetic, I think, that we could then apply to the overall website. So basically, the concept itself is what I want to communicate. But yeah, we're not going to have time to design everything, unfortunately. This is maybe a bit too fast, to be honest. Let's see if we increase, or a bit too harsh, I should say. That looks okay. I'm going to have the same kind of animation on the button SM here. Paste effects. Again, none of the animations are currently super synced. We should sync it in the end. But before I do that, I also want to add some detail to this, I feel, just to spice it up a little bit without going overboard. An easy way to do that I usually do is I just do something like this. Let's say 3% opacity. Let's do a full radius rounding. Let's add some more padding to the sides. Something like this. Maybe we even reduce the bottom and top padding. And so we have this be like a pill of its own. Now, if we want to draw attention to this one, we could have one of these classic patterns where you have some kind of shine, going around here. You could do all kinds of fancy stuff. We don't have time to go into that right now, though. Let's see, Andres. Hi, Tim. Let's put you up here. Hi, Tim. Thanks for all the things you teach us. I have a new job in UI design because of the things I've learned with your. That is amazing to hear, Andres. That makes me genuinely happy to hear that I am doing these things on YouTube or on X, and you guys learn stuff that eventually gets you a job. That is a true proof of value being delivered to you. So that makes me really happy. Shout out to you, Andres. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Happy to have you here in the stream. Now, with this, like I said, we can probably add some kind of shine or something that makes it pop a bit more. But for now, I think let's keep it clean and focus on other details. But I think it looks pretty good. This video, though, like, I'm not really happy with it. It still feels too much like it just feels like a beach resort of some kind. I would want these, like I talked about in the beginning, like adding, maybe we would have to actually create a custom edited video for this, or of course we would have to, because we would need the real location. But I would want to add like some shots of people connecting and talking to each other. I would want to have a drone shot of the actual campus to just to show the cool scale of all of this stuff. But yeah, I think for now, like, since we don't have the actual video, this is gonna have to work. Let's see if we can find something else in the drone footage that has like a really nice vibe to it, that we don't have to go in and color grade ourselves, because we don't really have time for that right now. No, I think unfortunately we're gonna have to stick with that one. But yeah, I think it does the work fine. Yeah, we'll just have to settle for that. Yeah, I think maybe we call this a day for the hero section, for now at least, and we move on to the other sections. Now, I really like this, right? Showing a big picture that highlights the highlights the value in a nice way. So what I'm seeing in front of me, like people connecting. If we go back to, let's see, where do we have ChatGPT here? So continuous learning. So that could be like showing an awesome classroom setup with, like, you can see in the background basically the view of the ocean or whatever, to show that you're learning on in paradise. That would be pretty powerful, I think. Then transform your health and well-being, like having some sort of, and this could be videos too on hover or something. I think we don't want to overwhelm. You can't have, so if we think this as cards, for example, in the layout, and we have 4 cards, you don't want to have videos playing in every single card at the same time. It's going to be too much happening. But maybe on hover, the image is just a thumbnail of a video, so it plays. And for the fitness one, it could be like a still of someone working out. As you hover, you see like cool shots from people staying fit. Maybe someone checking their watch, someone eating their blueprint meal, like showing these things very clearly like that in a video format, I think could be really powerful. Accelerate your career growth. So yeah, again, this goes a bit into learning, I guess, but maybe this is more than about the like networking too. Or maybe like this could be from a talk or something. They're sitting, like, you see someone standing on a stage and talking, and to show that career growth part of it. And then connect with visionaries and build lifelong friendships. This, I'm seeing like people sitting, talking. Maybe you have shots both from the day where people sitting and chilling, eating dinner together, but also from the night. Maybe people are, sitting on the beach around a campfire, laughing, really getting all of those points across in a visual way, I think could be really powerful. So what I want to do here is I want to do this kind of card layout. So I'm going to create another frame in, whoops, here. I'm going to create another frame. This is going to fill 2. And another thing here, let's set the width to be a max width of 1200 pixels for both of these. So this one doesn't matter because, or yes, it does actually matter. We should set this to the same 1200 pixels. And this one is going to be max width 1200 pixels. Okay. And let's see, padding 48, radius 32. Radius 32. I'm going to change the gap. And that is actually going to have, so look here. I want this gap to be the same as we have here. So 12. So the vertical gap is going to be the same as we have on the sides. But as I do that, you see this now becomes closer. So one easy thing we could do is just add another bit of padding to this for now. And that works. Okay, so this is going to be a new section with a bunch of cards. And let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, so I think for this section, we do a smaller headline somewhere. Let's say, let's take this and paste it in. We drag this in here. Let's remove this part. Let's take this and let's create a new style that is heading 2. And I'm going to put it down to, 38 could work. Letter spacing is going to be a bit less. Maybe that works. And yeah, I think this could work pretty well, having this kind of layout. Now, let's quickly, actually, let's leave this copy for now. and we can jump into all the copy later to save us some time and to not jump too much between tasks, because that is usually a problem. If you're jumping too much between things, you lose momentum and you lose the creativity. So in here, I'm thinking some kind of heading here, maybe some kind of body text to just explain what this is about. This is going to be about highlighting the people's pain points, right? Let's see. I see that I'm not the only one that thanks ChatGPT for his answers. Yeah, I'm trying to always stay polite because you never know when the machines are going to fuck you up, right? I don't know if I can swear on stream, but it's just the truth. We need to stay vigilant here, and we need to be friends with the machines. So I I always say like thank you. I'm like, hey, my friend. I try to be very polite because in the end, like ChatGPT is very nice to me. I want to be on his or her good terms. But anyways, here we have the heading, we have the body text. Now in here, I was thinking we're going to add these different cards here as well. So I'm going to add some rounding to that. Let's say 32. Now, the question is, how do we want these cards to be laid out? Maybe we go a bit fancy here. Let's say that we have a layout like this with cards, right? Let's say a card layout like this. And let's make this a bit bigger like that. So card layout like this. And this part would be sticky. So as we scroll down, this sticks, and you see new cards just coming into view. So this could be like something that reinforces like the overall value prop, like whether it's like lifetime, an experience or an adventure of a lifetime, let's say, or something that just encapsulates the whole experience, the whole thing. And then these cards here, of course, then go into the specific value props or the specific points. Stay ahead with continuous learning, etc., etc. Let's try something like that. Now for the cards, let's see what they do here. Here they have like a card with an image, and then they have the text as a separate card. I think we want to combine them. And I think we need to add a little bit of text. So like it can't just be a heading, or it could of course be, but I think it should be a heading plus body text, not too much, but something that gives enough context. So let's see here. If we do this, let's see this card. I'm going to change the color a bit, so faded out gray. Actually, let's do this so that we stay consistent with colors. This one, the background color, I'm just going to call background color for now to make it very easy. Actually, let's not do that because we will use it for other things too. Let's call this main gray for now. And this is something I always struggle with. Do we say gray with an E or an A? Sometimes I do it with E. Sometimes I do it with an A. It depends on the day, on the mood. For now, we're going to use with an A. And now for this, and this is also an interesting point and something I have in my course. You can do your grays as an opacity value of black or like a dark color. And that is good in the way that you, like for me, it's usually more versatile to do that because you rarely end up in cases where colors are gonna be, how do you say that? Where they are like going against each other. With the opacities, they kind of blend together always in a nice way. So I don't know if we want to do that for the main gray here. Maybe we do this background gray, or even gray with an E here. just to switch it up twice. Kushal, let's see. No worries. Interruption is very welcomed in here. Sorry to interrupt you again, but can you tell me what are the resources that you take most of your design inspiration from? It would be really helpful for me. What are the resources I take most inspiration from? Probably, I said in the beginning, mobbin.com, I think, is great. You have both mobile and desktop designs in there from like the biggest brands in the world. Super good resource. Other than that, Pinterest, land-book is something I've started using lately. Lapa.ninja is another one for websites. I would say those are the main ones. But I need to get back in here in order to make this happen. So let's see. I'm going to take this image. I'm going to paste it. Whoops. What the hedge is happening here? Take this image. I'm going to paste it in here. Whoops. Now I have two outside of there. So this image or this rectangle is going to become an image. Now, what was the first point? Continuous learning, right? Let's say classroom is going to give us such boring things. Let's actually try to use ChatGPT, or not ChatGPT, but Midjourney for this one. And let's remove this. Let's say like light classroom with happy students and an amazing like tropical landscape in the background window. Let's see what happens with that. While that is thinking, I'm going to jump back in here and let's see. We're going to just take a classroom for now that has some okay color grading. Like all of these become so, stock imagey so quickly. And that is something I really do not like, because it just doesn't look, it immediately makes your design look very much worse, just much worse. So I think we're really going to have to rely on Midjourney here to make this look a little bit nice. But you see, now this becomes very unrealistic. Realistic photorealism, maybe something we should add here. With happy college students. Let's see. Let's see if that can give us something. Jumping between tabs. For now, can I find something just as a placeholder? This is the question of the day. Can we find a nice placeholder? Can we do it? It doesn't seem like Unsplash has anything to offer us here. So I'm going to have to rely on this, and I'm going to drag this tab up here. This looks like a painting. Like I need it to be realistic. So if anyone has a good prompt for getting realistic stuff, let's actually go to the meta level and ask ChatGPT. Hey, my friend, if I want a photorealistic photo, let's actually take the prompt from Midjourney. What can I do? This is my current prompt, but it doesn't become realistic. Boom. Let's see. For now, I will just start getting into like what the layout could be with the text. So let's say this one would be continuous learning. And we're going to set that to fit content. I'm going to drag it in here. Boom. Continuous learning. I'm going to copy and paste that in again. And now, when it comes to text sizes, usually for content that you like this, that is really prominent, like top content that will be read by people, you don't want to go below 16 pixels or 16 point size. So I'm not going to do that. Now, the difference between these is just 2 points, which generally, like, the contrast becomes too little between them. So maybe we make this into more of a heading, like medium. So this would be, we can even create a style out of this. Let's say for now, let's say that this could be, this is probably our smallest heading. Now, of course, with SEO, these headings, H1 to H6, indicate importance. So I don't know if this necessarily is going to be a heading 6 in terms of importance, probably higher, right? But just for the sake of simplicity, to keep my style simple for now, I'm just going to have it like that. Let's see. No, let's see here. Okay. Now we're talking, I think. Now we might be talking. I need to add the camera settings. This will be interesting. This will be very interesting. And also, though, we do not want it to be 69. We want it to be 1 by 1, right? No AR. And V5, that is an old version, I think. So let's do this. See if that works. You can see much of the process is about finding good images. Like, much of design is just image finding in the end. Now, we have to get going here if we're going to make this. So I'm going to try to make this into a good looking card now. Let's say 16. Let's do this. Let's go back to here and let's say this. I'm going to jump back into Framer. I'm going to paste it in. Like, as you can see, this is definitely too much text right now. Let's say fixed 200 pixels. Like, that is a lot of text. So what if we do 15? We break the 6-point grid for this smaller size, or we stay within the 6-point grid and we do 14, but we break the kind of accessibility rule of having legible text. Maybe for now we do break that rule, and we are going to cap the text to here. Whoops. Cap the text, place it back up in here. And I think for each card, they would probably lead into some kind of whoops, this has too much radius too. See, 16. Each card would probably lead into some kind of detail page, so you can learn more about that specific thing. So I would add like either a learn more button that is like a medium, and then on top of that we have some form of a icon. Let's say phosphor. Let's see. Oops. Phosphor, and we do arrow right. No, not arc. We need an arrow. Arrow. Square, nope. Arrow left, arrow. God damn it. This is not a very helpful list. Let's do the circle then. Circle right. I'm not sure I love this aesthetic for this site, but for now we can do it. Maybe even smaller. I want to keep it really minimal for now. And I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to tweak this card a little bit, but for now, let's see, what do we have? This looks better, but it is still not realistic though. Sha-da-da-da. Let's just do this for now. I'm gonna copy this image, copy image, and we're gonna have to jump in here and paste it. And I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna paste. Nope, not paste effects. Paste style. Boom. So there we have the image. For these text fields, I want to fade them out a little bit. So like 70%, I'm using opacities now to do that. Not happy with the overall layout of this card. I think, either we go the route of having the image being the entire card and we kind of mask out like we did here for the text. Maybe we should try that since it's something we're already doing. I'm gonna add a stack for these. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do fit content, and we're gonna put this inside of here. Boom, like that. Let's actually remove the learn more, and we're just gonna have the arrow later. First though, we're gonna add a mask again. I'm gonna flip this, oops, like that. Place this one in here too. Move, oh, wow. Let's place it there again. This one, yes. So this will have to be on top. Now this outer one, we're gonna have the image be absolute position, covering everything. We're gonna have this be absolute position, and maybe it's like 12, 12, like that, or 20, 20, depending on what padding we want. This I'm also gonna make into an auto layout, like that. This stack is gonna be having, let's see, 8 image. Again, you're going to be absolute, my friend. Boom, boom. The stack is going to be brought to the top. And let's see. This one. Why is this one? There we go, I think. Reduce the C index a little bit. Now we're going to send these things to the end like that. We're going to give it some padding, 20. And we are going to have to tweak this mask a little bit. Let's see, image. Actually, let's lock this one. Lock it. And let's change this so we have something like that. I think that's better. For this one, again, I want this to be position absolute. And maybe we have that in the corner. 20, 20. That doesn't look quite amazing. Let's see. we're going to have to play around with that a little bit. Maybe we even have the call to action or the arrow coming in as you hover. For now, let me put this out here. Let's just paste it outside so that we don't have to think about it. Let's see, Tanya Riley, thinking about a horizontal card to fit the amount of text. Horizontal card to fit the amount of text. You mean a wider card, Berlin? We have loads of ideas all the time with great people who turn ideas into reality. We save by not having everyone sign up. Limited availability. Tanya, is that for this text you're thinking? By the way, we're gonna have to, I think, add some more rounding to this. This spacing is a bit too close for my taste, or too far apart, I mean. So something like that. We're gonna change the size of this entire card, I think, 400 maybe. And maybe even more radius, to be honest, like a bit more bubbly feel. And let's see, like what I'm envisioning here. Let's see if we can continue with the masking part here. Let's make it like that, maybe. Or let's do this. You know what? Let's push this upwards, like 96. And let's do so that the mask is like down to here so that we get more of the image. Continuous learning. Okay. Okay, amazing, Tanya. That is cool. And I think thank you everyone for helping out with ideas here. Andres, does Framer have a contrast checker like Figma? Nope, I don't think so. But with the coming plugins, I am sure someone is building that. But right now, this is very clean, very minimal. I do want to add some spice to this. Like I said, I think I would want this to be a video. Like as you hover it, that would look pretty awesome if it's a video. Something else I am thinking here is I want to spice up this thing itself. Let's see here. We save by not having. Let's call this like for the future of education, or the future of education, maybe. Very generic, so not something I would want to use, but just to get it more in line with the length of copy. And this one could be even shorter, maybe something like this. So the future of education. Something we could play around with. And I'm actually not sure that I want this section to be a card itself. Let's do this. I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to do this where I remove the background of this. And we're going to make this whole thing with, let's see. This is going to be a layout, first of all. This we can remove. This we can paste in here for now as a placeholder. I'm going to put this in the start, in the top, and we're going to add in the same padding like that. Now we can make these fill in terms of width. And I don't know if that was what you were referring to before, Berlin, but I think that could be helpful that we have wider cards. Let's see if we make this fill as well. And maybe it spans a bit longer like that. And the future of education. The network school is your chance to prove your potential. Something that is still troubling me with this, or that was troubling me now, is that this wasn't contrasting to the background, but now it does. Look at that. And we are going to change the image mask again so that it fades in nicer. And there we go. Also, something like this. That is heavier, punchier. Continuous learning. Here, too, I think something that could really make this be popping, and that's actually what I was thinking before I started making these changes. I would want to add something here, I think, to make this feel more like a dedicated section. Now, if we didn't have like a time limit like this, I would start exploring or researching different apps and see how they do it, like how you could add visual, some cool visual stuff to make this pop a bit more. For now, like just to give it like a less of a boring feel, I think we could have this be a sub, like not a subsection, but basically a subheading. So something like what would you call it? Crypto-enabled education. I'm just going to add that there for now. I want something shorter even. But you see now, just by adding that, we add some more visual interest to this whole section. So I think that makes a big difference. That is helpful for us. Maybe actually we added 24 pixel padding. So like that. Now, what we're doing here in general is that we're not using shadows. Like, it's very clean. We don't have any shadows. We don't have a lot of extra fancy shenanigans going on. Something I do want to try though is to see what would this card look like if we added some shadows to it. Just some slight shadows, like 2 layers like this, and even like something like that. And I think when we do that, maybe we drag down the rounding or the radius, maybe even 20. That looks pretty clean, to be honest. Let's say lifelong education here. That looks pretty clean, I think. Now, another thing I was thinking, and this might be overkill, because right now we have a very good, clear visual here, right? Now, this is the classroom. This is the continuous learning part. I was thinking maybe we add an icon in here to make it pop a little bit more, to make things a bit more interesting. But as we do that, then we start competing with the image. So that's something you have to take into account as well as you're designing something like this. Do we want to compete with this image, or do we want the image to do the work for us, basically? So that is a question for us. Now, let's turn this into a card, this card component like that. I'm going to copy and paste it. I'm going to jump into the card. I'm going to take this image and add a variable so we can change the image like that. I'm going to change or add a variable for the heading. And we're going to add a variable for the body text like that. For now, let's skip the hover states and stuff for now. Let's just keep it simple. The next one And before I jump into that one, let's see here. Tanya throwing out ideas from a simpler time to focus on quick learners. The right to learn. The future of education is today. The future of money is the crypto of today. The right to learn. I like that. The right to learn. The like, and maybe that could be like a sub thing, because only one part of our like main value prop is about, or I mean, the whole thing is a school, so everything is about learning, but we have a couple of different things. We have like the community aspect, we have the learning aspect, we have the like networking aspect. So I like that, the right to learn. We would have to find a place to add it, but that is a really cool thing. Continuous learning. Let me jump over into here again. Let's see, transform your, let's take this, or actually let's do this. We can just, please keep them to keep the body text to like, let's say 80 characters or less. Boom. And I realized that I have missed this thing again. So I'll have, yeah, we're approaching 2 hours here. Let me add a last 5 minutes. And for next time, I'm going to have to learn that this thing is not to be trusted. I want to round this off with a last card, like a last maybe imaging card, or we actually don't have time. You know what? Let's round it off with some animations. Let's fix up the animations before we finish this. I'm going to have to get better at distributing my time while answering your guys' questions. But this has been a lot of fun, to be honest. Now, let's see here. This is going to be the layout, okay? I am now going to go in and make these animations be more in line. So as we see here, you see there is no flow to it. Like these come and then this comes and then like it's no real flow. So I think the first things, let's just do top to bottom. So this one's could be without delay. So let's say no, or let's say like we start with a little delay. So you have time to, like the site loads, you have time to process, then you're gonna see these appear. Maybe we do left. So this comes first, this comes second. So 0.6, then, whoops, this, like actually this whole thing is gonna come 0.7. Then once that appears, we're gonna have this one appear. It's gonna be, we have to take, wait a second. Yeah, this delay. 0.7 was the last one, so 0.8, 0.9. I'm gonna take this one. It's gonna be after 1 second. So 1. This is gonna be 1. Let's do 1.1. Let's see how it looks. Oops. We have this whole call to action sliding up. So let's do 1.2. And then these ones, let's first look how that looks. Boom. Like, look at that difference. Now that it's just a nice flow to everything. Slides up very nicely, very, very cleanly. And now for this last ones, or I should say the next section, really, this one could be, and again, going back to this point of designers loving animations, but users not really loving it as much, you have to be careful here with how many animations you end or add, sorry, not end. because it can also become a bit annoying. But just for the sake of showing how easy it is to do this with Framer, I'm going to add animations to here as well. Now, actually, with this, we don't need delay on this one. It is a new section. Something I'm going to do here is this is going to be, let's say that the height of this is going to be 90 VH, like that. So it covers basically the whole screen as we load it. Maybe let's say 85, just like that. And then this will have its own animations happening, not on appear, but as this layer is in view. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it into, now we're actually going to have the text animation here. Paste effects, but we already had that one. This one can be 0.2, and it's going to be layer in view. Copy, copy effects. And this one I'm going to remove, paste effects, and 0.3. And then this whole thing could have pretty basic effect like this appear after a delay of let's say 0.4. And this one is going to have copy effects, paste effects, say 0.5. Let's just double check so that we have it on. No, it has to be layer in view. Layer in view. Boom. We load the like the whole page, and then as we scroll in, these come into view as well. So there we go. That is part of a website. It's been a cool thing. This stream was really fun. It was fun to do this with you guys. I think that for coming streams, I will have to find ways to be a bit more effective while answering stuff in the chat. Or it just is like this, like part learning experience, part like creating things on the fly. But yeah, I'm so happy that people tuned in. Thank you, everyone. Gonna see here. Let's actually go back here. There we go. And I'm gonna bring up the chat. Let's see, overlay. There we go. Okay. So did I miss anything? I'm impressed of how you keep focus for so long. I get distracted every 10 minutes. Yeah, man. It was tough. I'm feeling a bit tired now. But it was a lot of fun. Thank you for considering it. Thank you, Tanya, for all the suggestions. Berlin design. I don't know if it will work, but you could put the icon for every single card in the top left corner of the image. Yeah, that could work. That could be nice. Could be a nice addition. But again, I don't know how much it's gonna really help and how much it's gonna distract. But it could be a way to play around with the layout for sure. Let's go, Tim. Let's go, Berlin. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Have a great day. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Andres. Sebastian, so much info that have a lot of value. Hello from Colombia. Super nice to hear that you liked it, Sebastian. Yeah, now everyone, it's been over 2 hours. I was so happy to do this with you all. I'm gonna try to start doing this. I think every week is my goal. Gonna try to have another one next week. Try to get into it, get back into content creation. But yeah, again, thank you, everyone. Have a nice life.